Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Natalie McLeod. I'm a counselor and certified in the New Creative Journal approach, which is a method created by Anne-Marie Jobin, an art therapist based in Quebec. As I said in many of my previous videos, you do not need to be good at drawing or an artist to enjoy the benefits of this approach. You just need a few basic supplies and a journal, so either an A4 size or a smaller version is fine as well, an A5 size. So I invite you to either have a cup of tea with you or create an inviting space to start your journal. You can use either the right hand side of your page or you can use the left hand side. I will use the right hand side for this activity. So imagine something like a tangled ball of wool. You can also use these, which are oil pastels. They're really good at conveying difficult feelings or thoughts. This is representative of how we can feel sometimes, or what's in our head. It feels like that, where everything is all messy. The idea is that we're going to pull out a thread out of that tangle mess. And look, it's already coming out quite easily, actually. I apologize about the image, but there's something about holding the mess in your hand. It almost gives us this sense of being in control or gaining clarity. And begin to pull a thread out. Using the follow the line technique, which is a technique proposed in the New Creative Journal in Anne-Marie Jobin's book. And I've added the link of her book in the description box below. Write whatever thoughts come to mind along the line. So for example, you might feel tired. Making some loops if you want. You might feel irritated. Any thoughts that come to mind. Something like, I want a break. I invite you to stay with your page for a moment and notice what messages stand out the most. And once you have that message, perhaps a sensation like feeling tired, needing a break, or needing support, we're going to take a first step towards what you need. And when I talk about need, it's not about being needy. I'm talking about human basic core needs, whether they're physiological, like wanting to drink water, or needing the toilet, or being hungry, and these are really important, or whether they're emotional needs, so needing some empathy, understanding, to be heard. Intellectual needs, needing some stimulation by reading books. And so our needs are varied, but they are very important because when we listen to those needs, then we can find balance. And I'm going to invite you to get a magazine. Once you've got your magazines, I'm going to invite you to find a peaceful image. A good idea is to time yourself so you don't get lost in searching for the quote-unquote perfect image. Looking at pictures that are inspirational to you. We have transformed what was happening earlier in our mind to something else. And here in the magazine, I found this picture of a nice warm cup of hot chocolate. And it could be something as simple as that. It doesn't have to be a major changes in your life. It doesn't have to be the overwhelming idea of I need to move houses or I need to leave this relationship. Even though you may be in a situation that is very, very challenging for you, it can just start with a small step. Journaling your thoughts, trying to find a thread to that messy ball of thought, and ending up with a picture that can guide you towards a better. Oh, this is the end of this process for activity 1. It shouldn't take more than 15 minutes to do this, and you don't have to do all the steps that I showed you on the video. You can skip some of the steps. So if you find a positive message like I could do with a walk, for example, here, you can simply stop there because you already have your answer. If not, then you can carry on looking for a picture like I did here, add a word and also a little symbol that represents your first action that you can take towards a better. Thank you for watching this first activity, and then now I'm going to show you a second longer activity. Use the right hand side of your journal to draw or trace a silhouette of a head and shoulders like I did here, or if you're finding drawing a bit of a challenge, you can simply draw a circle in the middle of your page. It's absolutely fine. We're going to spend some time drawing the fog in our brain. You can even go outside of the lines of your head. And if you had lots of fog, you can even cover the whole page of your journal. So the next stage of this activity will be to write down what you feel when you look at your head. If you have just drawn a circle, it's fine. You can write beneath it. We're going to start with the starter sentence. When I look at my head, I feel, and carry on journaling as much as you want. If you feel that there's not enough space, feel free to carry on journaling at the back of your page. You can also time yourself, whether it's 5 minutes or 15 minutes writing, it's up to you. Okay, so what I would like to show you about our brain is a very short explanation of what's happening here. So when we are feeling tired, zoned out, invisible, or we dissociate, it's generally this part of the brain that's taking over, which is the primitive part of the brain. And the amygdala, which is situated around here somewhere, is the reason why we are on high alert. It's like an alarm button that keeps us on survival. When we are in this state, we feel out of control, and often we are unable to make clear decisions because the brain's job is to keep us on survival. For the next stage of this exercise, we're going to try and find a way to dissipate the fog in our mind. So, for example, what you can do is to pick an ally that you have. I do have a video about allies, and allies are very useful techniques to use in your New Creative Journal, as they represent a good friend who would have good advice for you. And generally the way you use allies is that you can use them in a dialogue. The dialogue would be to use 2 different color pens, a pink here and a purple, for example, and then write a dialogue between yourself and your ally to find answers or ideas of how you can dissipate the fog in your mind. When you're writing the dialogue, you can use your non-dominant hand, which represents your allied speaking, and then your dominant hand is yourself. You can time yourself for this exercise. You don't have to take too long to write a dialogue down, or you can take as much time as you want. I've written a very short dialogue between myself and my ally because I didn't really need to write as much, but if you want, you can write as long as you want. And I just got an answer from my ally, which was to use humor and simplify things, which was really what I need to hear actually. What we can do now is look for the advice in a magazine. So when I was looking for images through magazines using what my ally had recommended, which was the word humor, I came across this mandala. A mandala is a series of symbols in various spiritual traditions. They may be used to focus attention, fostering inner peace, healing. This may be appropriate to stick on my page. If I had enough time, I could be coloring in the mandala. That would be a very good way of calming my mind and focusing on something else. I also found this little picture which made me smile. I don't know why. I think it's to do with the eyes. I don't know what animal this is, but I think it's an animal that you find perhaps in Australia. I'm not entirely sure. This was the right picture for me to put on my drawing because it uplifts the mood, and also he happened to have a little message here which he says, don't take things too seriously, think of me when you need to smile. So I hope these activities would have been useful to you today. Until next time, take care of yourselves and thanks for watching. Bye bye.